So I think it's kind of how sports journalism is adapting to the journalism landscape changing in general, where we know that we need to be able to react to stories quickly. We want to be a part of the conversation. Sometimes it's like setting like, hey, this is newsworthy, we're going to talk about this. But other times it's like, hey, this is funny, like we're going to add what we know. We want readers' feedback, like we'll get it going on Twitter. So I think it's not a title I had heard anywhere before. When I applied for the job, I was like, social mobile reporter, like, what does that mean? And we're still, even as a company, figuring out exactly what my role is, but it's a lot of just being able to adapt, being able to have like a finger on the pulse of what's happening in the sports journalism world. Sometimes it's on like a big breaking story, other times it's just fun. For Diamondbacks, for example, I know when I'm the second reporter that I'll write that notebook ahead of the game, I'll shoot video afterwards, and then those are my priorities. Anything else is me fitting it in as I can. Even if a giant social story happens during the game, I don't want to drop something that I know like needs to run in print. So it's a lot of just communication with the desk and just prioritizing. I think when there's all those microaggressions of people just constantly questioning why you work in this field, or, I think so many women deal with the questions of like, well, when did you start liking sports? As if it's some mysterious thing that like one day we just wake up and we're like, football's great today. Instead of, I don't know, I don't think men get that question. I feel lucky in that I've never had a really bad experience with a coach or with a player. I've had really wonderful coworkers, but I think there is still just kind of that societal thing that tells people that women don't like sports as much as men. I can't tell you how many times I'll be meeting a friend of a friend or talking to someone just like out while watching a game, and they'll be like, what do you do for work? I'm like, oh, I'm a sports reporter. And they're like, oh, so do you like sports? I'm like, well, yes. Yes, I do. I really do think the biggest thing is knowing who you can turn to in times when you're stressed out and feeling discouraged. And sometimes you just need to vent quickly, like, oh, I didn't know this today and I felt kind of dumb, I'm questioning everything. And just having a friend who can be like, snap out of it, you're good at your job, you deserve to be there, you're good at XYZ. And I think also, on top of that, just recognizing that in this field, we're here to tell people's stories. And the way we do that, like, anyone's voice is going to tell a story in a different way. And that's why it's so important to have diversity in sports media, where we're getting stories out there that someone else wouldn't.